You think you know what it takes to win. You think success is about being loud, about telling everyone your plans, about chasing attention and approval. But you're wrong. True power, true transformation does not come from talking. It comes from silence, from patience, from grinding when no one is watching, from mastering yourself when the world is trying to distract you. Right now, I want you to look inside yourself, not around yourself. I want you to face the part of you that's been waiting for recognition, for applause, for permission. That part of you that gets distracted by what others say, by what others think, by the noise of the world. That part of you that fears failure, doubts your ability, and settles for less because it thinks it has no choice. You are stronger than that. You are capable of more than you have allowed yourself to believe. The life you want, the results you dream of, the respect and influence you crave, they are all within your reach. But there is one catch. You must learn to move silently, relentlessly, without relying on anyone else to validate your grind. You must embrace discomfort, endure the invisible struggles, and fight the battles that nobody else sees. This journey is not for the weak-minded, the impatient, or the easily distracted. It is for those willing to stare at their potential and take ownership of it, no matter how long it takes, no matter who doubts them, no matter how invisible the results seem at first. The world will try to pull you in every direction. People will try to tell you what you can't do, what you're not capable of, what is impossible. Critics will speak, friends will advise, and strangers will judge. But your mission is simple. Stay silent, stay disciplined, stay focused. And let your actions, your effort, and your results speak for themselves. This is your moment to step into a different level of consciousness, to realize that your worth is not determined by who notices you, but by what you create, by what you endure, and by how you respond when no one is watching the next minute you spend listening. Will not just motivate you, they will challenge you, awaken something deep inside. Something that refuses to quit, refuses to settle, and refuses to follow the crowd. This is the point where you decide if you will remain ordinary, distracted, and dependent on others' approval, or if you will rise above, grind in silence, master yourself, and create a life that is undeniable. Everything you want in life, the success, the recognition, the influence, the power, is waiting on the other side of patience, discipline, and relentless self-mastery. But it won't come to those who talk more than they act. It won't come to those who chase noise instead of focus. It will only come to those who understand that silence is strategy, patience is preparation, and inner strength is unstoppable. By the end of this message, you will either be ready to change everything about the way you approach your life, or you will go back to the same distractions, excuses, and half-hearted effort that got you nowhere before. So listen carefully. Absorb every word. Let it penetrate your mind, challenge your habits, and ignite the fire inside that refuses to wait, refuses to quit, and refuses to settle for anything less than everything you are capable of achieving. The time to rise silently, relentlessly, and powerfully is now. Silence is power. That is not just a phrase. It is a principle that defines the difference between those who achieve and those who only dream. So many people spend their lives speaking, explaining, defending, announcing, shouting their intentions into the void, thinking that the louder they are, the further they will go. But the truth is, the world doesn't reward noise. The world rewards action, results, and the quiet, relentless pursuit of a goal that consumes you from the inside out. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Silence is focus. Silence is the battlefield where the mind sharpens itself, the place where you wrestle with your weaknesses and emerge stronger, faster, more capable than you ever thought you could be. Every time you choose to remain quiet when the world demands your opinion, when it demands that you boast, when it begs you to seek recognition, you are training yourself. You are building an inner fortress that no distraction, no gossip, no pressure from others can penetrate. There is a power in watching rather than talking, in observing instead of reacting, in learning in the shadows before stepping into the light. Those who shout their plans are often the same people whose plans collapse because they were never rooted in discipline, never backed by action, never tested by the fires of real effort. Silence allows you to think deeply, to analyze, to strategize, and to understand the steps you must take to reach your goal without being interrupted by the noise of the outside world. Every great achiever you look up to has mastered the art of silence. They have understood that talking about your dreams does not make them real. Working on your dreams, even when unseen, is what brings them to life. Silence is the ally of consistency. Every moment you resist the urge to seek validation, every time you resist the temptation to explain yourself, you are strengthening your mind, your focus, and your resolve. You are telling yourself that your worth is not in applause, that your value is not in approval, that your power lies in what you do, not what you say. There is a discipline in silence, and discipline is the currency of achievement. You see, the world is full of people who talk about what they will do. They post, they comment, they declare, they promise, but when it comes to the grind, when it comes to showing up day after day, they vanish. Silence separates those who are committed from those who are not. Silence is where you cultivate resilience, where you endure hardship without complaint, where you learn to take setbacks and failures and convert them into fuel for your next push. It is in silence that you confront the parts of yourself that are weak, lazy, fearful, or inconsistent, and you challenge them. You force them to submit to your will. Every hour spent working while no one is watching, every sacrifice made without recognition, every sleepless night endured in pursuit of mastery builds a strength that cannot be faked or taken away. People may not notice your work, but that is the point. Power does not seek applause. True strength is invisible, deliberate, and strategic. Silence is also a shield. It protects your vision from those who would undermine you, from those who are jealous, insecure, or short-sighted. The less you speak about your goals, the less you give others the opportunity to discourage you, distract you, or slow you down. Protecting your energy is a form of power, and silence is the most potent protection you have. It allows you to focus on the work that matters, to build skills, to perfect processes, to study, to grow, and to prepare for the moment when you will rise, and rise you will, because silence is not stagnation. It is not waiting idly for luck to strike. It is deliberate, intentional, relentless preparation. The world may not see it, the people may not notice, but the results will speak for themselves. One day, everything you have worked on quietly, everything you have built in the shadows, will erupt into reality. That is the nature of silent power. People are drawn to it because it is rare. They respect it because it cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. It is earned in hours of solitude, in moments of discomfort, in decisions made to prioritize growth over recognition, patience over immediate gratification, action over words. To stay silent is to stay strong. To stay silent is to stay focused. To stay silent is to understand that the world will eventually take notice, not because you announce yourself, but because your results cannot be ignored. The louder you talk, the smaller your power appears. The quieter you remain, the more formidable you become. Every time you restrain yourself from seeking attention, every time you avoid the temptation to boast, every time you endure without complaint, you are sharpening your edge. You are preparing for the moment when your impact will be undeniable, your presence unavoidable, your success unmistakable. Silence is more than withholding words. It is the cultivation of patience, the development of resilience, the training of your mind to see long-term reward rather than short-term approval. In silence, you learn to depend on yourself, to trust your instincts, to master your craft without distraction. You learn that the true measure of a person is not in what they claim, but in what they accomplish. Power comes to those who understand this, those who work in the shadows, who grind when no one is watching, who endure when no one is encouraging, who persist when no one believes. That is the essence of silent strength. So when the world demands that you explain, defend, or announce yourself, resist. When people question why you are not vocal, why you are not seeking attention, remember that every hour you spend working quietly is a step closer to your breakthrough. The results you create will shout louder than any words ever could. Silence is power because it allows your actions to define you, your results to speak for you, your discipline to shape you, and your perseverance to carry you to heights that those who only talk will never reach. Embrace silence, respect it, use it, protect it. Let it be the weapon that strengthens your mind, fortifies your will, and propels you to the life you are destined to live. Stay silent, work relentlessly, and watch everything come naturally. That action speaks louder than words. This is a truth so many people fail to grasp, a principle so powerful that it separates the dreamers from the doers. You can talk, plan, promise, declare, and convince the world of your intentions, but until your hands move, until your body takes action, your words are empty. They are air that disappears into nothingness. Too many people spend the IR lives trying to sound impressive, trying to convince others of their greatness, posting about their goals, explaining their visions, telling everyone what they're going to do tomorrow, next week, or next year. But action does not wait for recognition. Action does not need approval. Action does not need an audience. Action is personal. Action is discipline turned into movement, and movement produces results. Every single success story you admire is built on a foundation of action, not talk. People do not remember the ones who brag. They remember the ones who showed up, who endured, who worked in silence, and emerged with undeniable results. Action transforms ideas into reality. Without action, your goals remain fantasies. You can dream as much as you want. You can visualize all day. You can strategize for hours. But if your legs do not carry you forward, if your hands do not build, if your mind does not execute, nothing changes. Words are cheap. Anyone can say them. Anyone can make promises. But action is a demonstration of power, of commitment, of courage. Taking action means embracing discomfort. It means stepping into fear, into uncertainty, into a place where failure is not just possible, but likely. The people who only talk avoid risk. They avoid accountability. They stay in comfort zones thinking that one day someone will hand them success. Those who act do not wait. They create their own opportunities. They knock on doors. They open windows. They break barriers. Action is not glamorous. Action is exhausting, painful, relentless. It requires sacrifice. It requires discipline. It requires showing up even when your body screams to rest, even when your mind begs for delay, even when your heart feels like quitting. That is why so few people ever reach their potential. They fail to act consistently. Action turns the invisible into visible. It turns effort into achievement. It turns plans into milestones. Each step you take, no matter how small, compounds into momentum. Each task you complete, each challenge you face, each boundary you push, builds your capacity and signals to the universe that you are serious. People may doubt you, criticize you, even laugh at you, but action silences them all. Because when you move, when you execute, when you create results, no opinion, no judgment, no resistance can negate the reality of your progress. Action also builds confidence. There is no substitute for doing. Talking can only convince you temporarily, but action reinforces belief in yourself because you see tangible proof of your capabilities. You learn that you are stronger than you thought, smarter than you assumed, and more resilient than you imagined. Each step you take without fanfare, each obstacle you overcome without broadcasting it, strengthens your identity as someone who gets things done. Action is contagious too. People are inspired not by words, but by results. They follow those who deliver, who produce, who achieve. They are drawn to energy that is real, visible, undeniable. You become magnetic when your life demonstrates excellence, when your results prove your commitment, when your work speaks in volumes louder than any conversation ever could. Yet action requires focus. You cannot scatter your energy chasing every opportunity, every compliment, every approval. You must concentrate your efforts on what truly matters. On the woke arcade that moves you closer to your goals. Action is intentional. Action is purposeful. It is not frantic busyness. It is disciplined execution. Every hour you spend on meaningful work, every step you take on your path, every decision you make to prioritize results over appearances reinforces the reality that you are building, not just talking. And in this world, there is nothing more powerful than a life defined by results. When you act relentlessly, others notice, not because you told them to, but because your impact cannot be ignored. Results are louder than words because they carry weight, authority, and legitimacy. Words can be challenged, questioned, or dismissed. Results are undeniable. They are proof. They are evidence of capability. That is why action is the great equalizer. It does not discriminate. It does not care about who talks the loudest, who posts the most, or who has the fanciest promises. Action rewards those who do it consistently, strategically, and relentlessly. So if you want to rise above the crowd, stop explaining, stop justifying, stop boasting about your dreams. Let your work be your voice. Let your results be your declaration. Do not seek applause. Do not seek validation. Do not seek approval. Seek execution. Seek discipline. Seek consistent, deliberate, focused action. Every step you take, every move you make, every challenge you face and overcome becomes the language through which the world understands your worth. Stop measuring yourself by who praises you or who notices you. Measure yourself by what you accomplish, by the obstacles you surpass, by the mastery you achieve. Words may start conversations, but action changes lives. Words may attract CT attention, but action commands respect. Words may inspire briefly, but action leaves a legacy. Do not just dream. Do not just speak. Act, grind, persist, execute, show up. Do the work even when no one is watching. Do the work even when it is painful. Do the work even when failure feels inevitable. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is not what you said, not what you promised, not what you claimed, but what you built, what you achieved, what you became through action. Action is the bridge between your current reality and your ultimate destiny. Without it, you remain a spectator in your own life. With it, you become unstoppable. So stop talking, stop explaining, stop convincing, start moving, start doing, start proving. Let your results roar, let your accomplishments speak, and let your life be a testament to the power of action. The world will recognize you, not because you said you would, but because you did. Action is louder. Action is real. Action is everything. Patience builds momentum, and yet it is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. People think that success is about speed, about instant gratification, about seeing results yesterday instead of months or years from now. They believe that the faster they move, the quicker they will arrive, and in that impatience, they sabotage themselves. But real growth, real achievement, real transformation is not a sprint. It is a slow, deliberate accumulation of effort, resilience, and focus. Patience is the secret weapon of those who endure while others give up. It is the quiet power that allows you to withstand setbacks, to stay committed when the path seems invisible, and to trust the process when the results are not yet visible. Every person who has achieved greatness understood this. They learned to move deliberately, to grind consistently, to work every day toward a goal that might not manifest immediately. They learned that momentum is built through repetition, through small victories stacked upon each other, and that every step forward, no matter how tiny, compounds into unstoppable force. Impatience is the enemy of momentum. It convinces you to quit too soon, to chase shortcuts, to look for applause before the work has truly been done. Patience, on the other hand, teaches you endurance. It allows you to build strength while no one is watching. It allows you to study, to learn, to sharpen your skills, to prepare for the moment when your efforts will explode into visible results. Momentum does not appear out of thin air. It is a product of patience applied relentlessly over time. It is developed when you refuse to be shaken by failure, when you continue grinding despite discouragement, when you trust that every small action today contributes to the bigger picture tomorrow. People around you may not understand why you are not rushing, why you are not broadcasting every step, why you are not chasing quick wins. They may mock your slow pace, your quiet persistence, your refusal to seek immediate recognition. But patience is not about pleasing others. It is about mastering yourself. It is about understanding that the world eventually rewards consistency, dedication, and long-term focus. Each day you remain patient. Each hour you continue without complaint. Each moment you resist the urge to quit. You are building momentum in a way that cannot be rushed. Like water carving, G through stone, your patience erodes obstacles, shapes your path, and ultimately produces results that seem effortless to outsiders, but are forged in the discipline of endurance. Patience is also the master of timing. There is a moment for every breakthrough, a moment when preparation meets opportunity. Impatient people act before they are ready and they fail. Patient people wait, they prepare, they sharpen, and when the time is right, they strike with precision and force. That is why so many who appear to arrive overnight have actually been working in silence for years, building momentum through patient, consistent action that no one could see. True momentum is invisible until it reaches a critical point. It is the accumulation of habits, choices, and disciplined work. Every day you show up, every small win you earn, every obstacle you overcome adds to this invisible force. You may not feel it at first. You may not notice progress immediately, but if you continue with patience, the weight of all your efforts eventually creates a tipping point, a moment when the world cannot ignore you, when success manifests naturally, when everything you've been building finally bursts into reality. Patience also teaches resilience. It forces you to endure hardship without complaint, to stay committed when the world doubts you, to keep moving forward when failure seems inevitable. Impatience feeds frustration, self-doubt, and poor decisions. Patience, however, allows you to cultivate calm, clarity, and control over your actions. It teaches you that every setback is temporary, every failure is a lesson, and every delay is an opportunity to improve, adjust, and grow stronger. There is power in waiting, in understanding that success is a process, not a moment. There is power in trusting your grind, even when no one else does. There is power in continuing, even when the results are invisible, because every effort is building momentum, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Many give up because they do not see progress quickly enough, because they have no patience to endure the invisible work. But those who master patience learn to enjoy the process, to respect the journey, to understand that every hour, every step, every effort contributes to something larger than themselves. They understand that momentum cannot be faked, cannot be rushed, cannot be forced. It comes naturally to those who persist, who endure, who trust in the work they are doing today for the results they will see tomorrow. Patience also develops character. It teaches humility, discipline, and a long-term perspective. It allows you to focus on what matters, to ignore distractions, and to resist the temptation of shortcuts or empty victories. Momentum built through patience is sustainable because it is grounded in preparation, effort, and a deep understanding that life rewards those who endure. You must embrace patience if you want your success to last. Quick wins fade. Instant gratification disappears. But momentum earned through patience compounds, grows, and carries you through challenges, setbacks, and adversity. That is why patience is not passive. It is active endurance. It is the deliberate, consistent, unwavering pursuit of your goals, even when the world does not notice. It is grinding while others rest. It is building while others quit. It is trusting the process when results seem absent. Momentum is the reward for patience. It is the visible manifestation of all your quiet, unseen effort. And once momentum begins, it fuels itself. Each victory creating energy for the next. Each breakthrough opening doors to another, until your life becomes a testament to the power of persistent, patient action. So if you want to achieve, if you want to rise above the crowd, if you want to experience success that is real and lasting, learn to be patient. Endure, grind, persist, focus, build quietly while the world RLLD chases shortcuts and applause. Let your patience accumulate. Let your effort compound. And when the time comes, your momentum will arrive naturally. You will not have to force it, explain it, or justify it. It will appear because you stayed consistent, stayed disciplined, and respected the process when no one else would. Patience is not weakness, it is power. It is not delay, it is preparation. It is not waiting for luck, it is building unstoppable momentum that the world cannot deny. Embrace patience, trust your process, and understand that everything you desire will come naturally when you master the art of endurance, the quiet force of momentum, and the relentless consistency that patience creates. Avoid the noise of others. This is one of the most important principles you can ever understand if you truly want to rise, if you want to achieve, if you want to stay focused on the path that leads to your purpose. The world is full of distractions, full of opinions, full of people who will try to derail your progress at every turn. They will tell you what you can't do, what you're not capable of, what is impossible, what is too risky. And if you let them, their voices will drown out your own. But you cannot succeed by listening to everyone else. You cannot grow by letting the noise of others dictate your actions. There is a difference between guidance and interference, between advice and doubt. Too many people confuse the two, and as a result, they spend their lives chasing validation, seeking approval, and trying to prove themselves to the very people who will never believe in them. Noise comes in many forms. It comes as gossip that tempts you to engage, distracts your focus, and wastes your energy. It comes as criticism that is not constructive but destructive, meant to undermine your confidence rather than build it. It comes as comparisons, as jealousy, as competition that is rooted not in inspiration but in insecurity. If you let this noise in, it will cloud your mind, erode your confidence, and rob you of the energy you need to pursue your goals. The people who succeed understand this. They understand that the less attention they give to the irrelevant chatter of the world, the more power they have to concentrate on what matters. They understand that focus is like a muscle, and every time you allow yourself to be distracted by outside voices, that muscle weakens. Avoiding the noise of others is not isolation, it is protection. It is shielding your vision, your mind, and your purpose from forces that would slow you down or derail you completely. The more you engage with distractions, the more your energy is scattered, the more your mental bandwidth is consumed by things that are not yours to carry. Silence becomes a strategy. Focusing becomes a weapon. When you ignore the noise, when you refuse to be dragged into arguments, debates, or the opinions of those who do not understand your journey, you reclaim your time, your focus, and your power. You are able to think clearly, plan deliberately, and act decisively. People who make it big in life have learned to be selective about who they listen to, about whose opinions they value, about which conversations deserve their attention. They understand that not everyone is qualified to advise them, and not every comment requires a response. Avoiding the noise allows you to maintain clarity. IT allows you to prioritize your energy for what truly matters. It allows you to act without hesitation, without distraction, without being weighed down by external pressures. Too often, people fail because they allow external opinions to control their actions. They second guess themselves because someone said it would never work. They delay their plans because someone expressed doubt. They settle for less because others told them their dreams were unrealistic. When you avoid the noise of others, you protect yourself from that paralysis. You empower yourself to act with confidence, conviction, and courage. Avoiding noise also develops self-reliance. When you are not constantly seeking affirmation from others, you learn to trust yourself. You learn to listen to your own instincts, to rely on your own judgment, to make decisions based on what you know is right for your life, not what others dictate. This builds an inner strength that cannot be shaken by criticism, jealousy, or doubt. When you stop caring about what everyone else thinks, you begin to operate at a higher level. You begin to focus on what will move you forward, on what will make you stronger, on what will bring results rather than empty praise. Avoiding noise is about discipline. It is about controlling your environment and your mind so that you can channel your energy into growth. Every minute you spend worrying about what someone else thinks is a minute stolen from your productivity, your focus, your grind. The more you can filter out the irrelevant voices, the more space you create for creativity, strategy, and relentless action. Noise also breeds negativity. People's doubts, fears, insecurities, and criticism. SMS are contagious if you let them in. When you engage with negative energy, it affects your mindset, your confidence, and your motivation. Avoiding the noise is like wearing armor. It protects your mind from negativity, allowing you to think clearly, act decisively, and stay committed to your purpose. This doesn't mean you never listen or learn. It means you choose carefully whose advice you take, whose opinions matter, and whose voices influence your path. Wisdom comes from discernment, from understanding which input strengthens you and which input weakens you. Avoiding the noise of others also teaches patience and focus. It forces you to slow down, to prioritize, to commit to the work that matters while ignoring everything that doesn't. You become less reactive and more proactive. You learn to operate with intention rather than emotion. Every time you refuse to engage with distracting chatter, every time you stay focused on your mission despite criticism or doubt, you are building momentum, discipline, and mental resilience. This is what separates the winners from the rest. Those who succeed are not the loudest, not the most visible, not the most popular. They are the ones who have mastered the art of focus, who have protected their minds from distraction, who have avoided the noise of others in order to pursue excellence relentlessly. In avoiding noise, you also create space for innovation. When you are not distracted by external chatter, you can think deeply, strategically, and creatively. You can identify opportunities that others miss. You can develop solutions, make bold moves, and take calculated risks. The quiet mind is a powerful mind, capable of clarity and scion that is impossible in chaos. Avoiding noise is ultimately about control. Control of your mind, your focus, your energy, your destiny. The more you control these, the more unstoppable you become. Your life becomes the product of your choices, your actions, and your discipline, rather than the opinions, judgments, or distractions of others. So, if you want to achieve, if you want to rise, if you want your success to be inevitable, learn to avoid the noise of others. Protect your mental space. Protect your energy, protect your focus, filter out the irrelevant voices, ignore the negativity, stay away from the distractions, and stay committed to your grind. When you do this, when you operate in silence, when you move deliberately, when you prioritize results over approval, you become unstoppable. Your momentum grows, your confidence solidifies, your vision becomes clear. And eventually, the results you have been working toward will appear naturally, unmistakably, undeniably, because you stayed focused, you stayed disciplined, and you refused to be dragged into the noise that consumes the rest of the world. Consistency over recognition. This is one of the most powerful truths that separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. Too many people chase applause. Too many people measure their worth by likes, compliments, praise, or attention. They show up only when someone is watching, only when there is an audience, only when there is validation to be received. They are motivated by recognition rather than purpose, by approval rather than discipline. But the ones who truly succeed understand that consistency is the engine that drives results. That momentum is built quietly. And that recognition is the natural byproduct of relentless effort, not its prerequisite. Consistency is what transforms talent into skill, dreams into achievements, and intentions into reality. It is not about doing something once, twice, or occasionally. It is about showing up every day without exception, regardless of circumstance, regardless of motivation, regardless of whether anyone notices. When you commit to consistency, you are making a statement to yourself that your success is not dependent on anyone else, that your progress is in your own hands, that you will not allow distractions, doubt, or delay to interfere with your journey. Recognition is fleeting. Applause is temporary, But the work you do consistently compounds over time, producing results that are lasting, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. Every great achiever you look up to has built their success not by seeking praise, but by showing up day after day, by putting in the work even when no one is watching, by doing the things that others are unwilling to do consistently. Consistency requires discipline. It demands that you resist temptation, that you prioritize your long-term vision over short-term comfort, that you act with purpose even when the world seems indifferent. It is the daily grind, the repetitive effort, the commitment to mastery that no one applauds until the results manifest in ways that cannot be ignored. Recognition often comes too late for those who seek it. By the time applause arrives, it is no longer a motivator. It is merely an acknowledgement of work already done. If you tie your drive to recognition, you will fail because recognition is unpredictable, unreliable, and external. Consistency is internal. It is controllable. It is within your power every single day. To be consistent is to be unstoppable because no matter what life throws at you, no matter what distractions arise, no matter what setbacks occur, you continue moving forward. You do not wait for inspiration. You do not wait for permission. You do not wait for validation. You act, you execute, you persist. Consistency also teaches resilience. Every time you show up without recognition, every time you push through fatigue, every time you grind through setbacks, you are reinforcing the belief that your effort matters more than external approval. You are training your mind and your character to rely on itself, to endure hardship, to persist in silence. This is what builds mental toughness, emotional fortitude, and unstoppable momentum. Recognition can be a trap. It can inflate the ego, create complacency, or misdirect your energy. When you rely on recognition, you risk acting for the wrong reasons, performing for attention rather than for results. Consistency, however, keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused on what matters: the work, the growth, the mastery, not the praise, the applause, or the approval. People who achieve greatness often go unnoticed for years. They grind. They practice, they fail, they learn, and they persist without acknowledgement. But each day of consistent effort compounds, stacking skill upon skill, habit upon habit, action upon action, until one day the results appear undeniable, unstoppable, and the world has no choice but to recognize the greatness that was built silently over time. Consistency also creates trust. People respect those who show up reliably, who can be counted on to perform, who do not waver when challenges arise. Your consistency is a signal to the world, a demonstration that you are committed, disciplined, and serious about your purpose. Recognition will come naturally when your consistency produces results. It is not something to chase. It is the natural byproduct of work that is relentless, focused, and disciplined. When you prioritize consistency over recognition, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of seeking approval. You are no longer at the mercy of others' opinions, judgments, or attention. Your motivation comes from within, your discipline guides you, and your results follow as a natural consequence of your persistent effort. True consistency requires sacrifice. It demands that you act even when it is inconvenient, uncomfortable, or exhausting. It demands that you resist the allure of distraction, that you maintain focus when no one is watching, that you push forward even when progress seems invisible. This is where the majority fail. They quit too soon, they act sporadically, they rely on temporary motivation instead of building daily discipline. But those who are consistent, who refuse to rely on recognition as a motivator, who grind in silence, develop an unstoppable momentum that no one can take away. The life you want, the results you desire, the success you dream of will not come from talking, from boasting, from performing for attention. It comes from showing up every day, from executing when it is hard, from persisting when it feels pointless, from doing the work even when no one applauds. That is the essence of consistency. Recognition is a reward, not a driver. Discipline is the driver. Effort is the engine. And consistency is the road that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. So stop chasing praise. Stop seeking validation. Stop measuring your worth by who notices you. Instead, commit to showing up. Commit to the grind. Commit to executing every day with relentless focus. Let your consistency speak louder than words ever could. Let your results, built quietly over time, create recognition naturally. Let the world see what you have built when your dedication, your persistence, and your daily discipline finally manifest into the life you've been preparing for all along. Consistency over recognition is the key. It is the principle that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, that turns ambition into achievement, and that separates those who talk about success from those who actually live it. Embrace it, live it, and let your results speak for you. Let results create your reputation. This is one of the most powerful lessons you can ever understand if you truly want to rise above mediocrity and live a life defined by impact, influence, and success. So many people spend their energy trying to convince others of their worth, trying to sell themselves with words, trying to broadcast their talents, skills, or ideas without ever proving that they can deliver. They post, they declare, they promise, they brag, and yet when it comes time to show, they crumble, they fail, they disappoint, and the world quickly forgets them. The truth is, reputation is not built by what you say. It is built by what you do. It is forged in action, in consistent execution, in overcoming challenges, in solving problems, and in producing results that cannot be ignored. Words are cheap. Anyone can talk. Anyone can make a claim. But results, real, measurable, undeniable results, are proof of your capability, your discipline, your skill, and your commitment. They are the currency of respect, influence, and credibility. To let your results create your reputation means shifting your focus entirely away from external validation. It means refusing to be distracted by applause, likes, attention, or recognition. It means understanding that the opinions of others are irrelevant if you are not delivering, if you are not producing, if you are not grinding every single day toward your goal. Your reputation is earned silently, quietly, in the hours when no one is watching, in the moments when effort feels meaningless, in the challenges that test your endurance and your resolve. Every time you choose to do the work without seeking approval, every time you persist when nobody's encouraging you, every time you push beyond your limits, you are crafting a reputation that is unshakable. Results do not lie. They cannot be fake. They are the ultimate measure of what you are capable of. People may doubt you, criticize you, or underestimate you. But when you consistently deliver outcomes that speak for themselves, opinions become irrelevant. The world takes notice, not because you demanded attention, not because you explained yourself, not because you performed for recognition, but because the reality of your achievements commands it. This is why so many people fail to build a lasting reputation. They talk too much, they promise too much, and they act too little. They believe that words, connections, or appearance as are enough, but appearances fade. Words vanish. Only results remain. Results are the proof that you are serious, that you are capable, and that you deserve the respect that follows. To let your results create your reputation also requires patience. It is not an overnight process. Every step you take, every effort you put in, every challenge you overcome contributes to a cumulative force that will eventually manifest as recognition and respect. You may not see it immediately. You may feel invisible. You may be doubted, ignored, or ridiculed. But as long as you keep producing results, as long as you keep showing up, as long as you grind relentlessly, your reputation is being built silently but powerfully in ways that others cannot ignore when the time comes. This principle also liberates you from comparison. When you focus on producing results rather than seeking approval, you stop measuring your worth against the noise of social media, the praise of peers, or the accomplishments of others. Your standard becomes your own excellence, your own discipline, your own capacity to deliver. And when you consistently meet and exceed that standard, your reputation becomes authentic, unshakable, and entirely your own. Letting results create your reputation also teaches accountability. When your words are minimal and your actions dominate, you become responsible to yourself and to your goals, not to the fleeting approval of others. You understand that if you fail to deliver, there is no one else to blame. Your reputation, your credibility, your future rests entirely in your hands. This mindset breeds confidence and power because you no longer depend on external factors to prove your value. You prove it every day through effort, through mastery, through measurable progress, through results. Every time you achieve something meaningful, you send a signal to the world that you are serious, that you are disciplined, that you are capable. Your reputation grows naturally, organically, as a reflection of what you have done, not what you have said. This approach also commands respect in ways that words never can. People respect those who consistently produce, who rise above excuses, who overcome challenges, who turn ideas into reality. You may be overlooked in the beginning. You may be underestimated, but results are impartial. They speak the language of achievement. And when the world witnesses them, it cannot deny your skill, your work ethic, or your impact. Letting results create your reputation requires discipline, focus, and unwavering commitment. You must prioritize action over talk, execution over explanation, and progress over validation. You must understand that recognition is the reward, not the driver, and that every day you grind without acknowledgement, every night you push when no one sees, every challenge you overcome without applause, you are building a reputation that will ultimately define your legacy. It is in this consistent, deliberate effort that greatness is forged. When you allow your results to create your reputation, you also develop patience and resilience. You learn to endure skepticism, criticism, and doubt because you understand that your worth is proven in outcomes, not opinions. You become relentless, unwavering, and unstoppable because your energy is devoted entirely to producing, improving, and achieving. The world may notice your grind immediately. Your neighbors may not see your sacrifices. Your peers may underestimate your dedication. But when the results arrive, they will speak louder than words ever could. Your reputation, built on tangible proof of your capability, will command attention, respect, and influence in ways that superficial recognition never could. Every task completed, every obstacle overcome, every goal achieved, every skill mastered is a brick in the foundation of your reputation. And when the time comes, that foundation supports your rise, your influence, your impact, and your legacy. To rely on anything other than results is to gamble with your credibility. To talk more than you act is to weaken your power. To seek validation rather than execution is to remain at the mercy of opinions that will never satisfy you. The only way to ensure a reputation that lasts is to let your results speak for themselves. So stop boasting, stop explaining, stop begging for attention, stop worrying about what others think. Focus on your craft, focus on your work, focus on producing results that cannot be denied. Let your reputation grow silently in the background as your accomplishments speak volumes. When you reach the level of excellence, when your work becomes undeniable, when your impact is clear, the world will take notice naturally, and that notice will be rooted in respect, not fleeting approval. Let results create your reputation because it is the only reputation that truly matters, the only legacy that lasts, and the only proof that you are capable of more than anyone else can imagine. Grind, produce, persevere, and let your work define you. Inner strength through self-am. Mastery is the ultimate force that separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain average. It is the unseen power that fuels discipline, perseverance, and resilience. The force that allows you to stay silent, focused, and relentless while the world is distracted by noise, doubt, and chaos. Self-mastery is not something you are born with. It is built every single day, moment by moment, decision by decision. It is forged in the crucible of discomfort, sacrifice, and relentless self-discipline. To master yourself is to take full responsibility for your mind, your emotions, your actions, and your outcomes. It is to refuse to be a victim of circumstance, a slave to instant gratification, or a product of other people's expectations. Inner strength begins with the mind. You must train it to resist distractions, to stay committed to long-term goals, to act with patience when results are invisible, and to push forward when others quit. Your thoughts determine your reality. If your mind is weak, wavering, or easily swayed, you will never achieve anything meaningful. Self-mastery teaches you to control your thoughts, to redirect your energy from negativity and doubt into focus, action, and resilience. It trains you to recognize the lies your mind tells you, the fear, the excuses, the self-doubt, and to reject them without hesitation. Every time you overcome a negative thought, every time you choose action over procrastination, every time you silence the voice that tells you to quit, you are strengthening your inner core, your foundation, your power. Emotional control is another key aspect of self-mastery. Life will challenge you constantly with setbacks, criticism, and obstacles. Without the ability to regulate your emotions, these challenges will overwhelm you, derail you, and rob you of your focus. Inner strength allows you to feel without being controlled by feelings. It allows you to endure pain without bitterness, to face failure without despair, and to handle success without arrogance. Self-mastery teaches you to respond rather than react, to think clearly in the heat of pressure, and to act decisively even when circumstances are against you. Discipline is the backbone of inner strength. It is the daily practice of doing what must be done, even when you do not feel like it, even when the world does not notice, even when the reward is far in the future. Discipline is built through repetition, through consistency, through the relentless execution of small but meaningful actions. Every habit you create, every routine you stick to, every choice you make to prioritize growth over comfort compounds into a power that cannot be shaken. Mastery over your body is also critical. Physical endurance, health, and energy are essential tools for sustaining effort over the long term. Inner strength is fueled by your physical capacity to act relentlessly, to withstand fatigue, and to persevere through challenges. Neglecting your body weakens your mind, dulls your focus, and limits your potential. True self-mastery integrates mind, body, and spirit into a cohesive force capable of facing adversity without compromise. Patience is another pillar of inner strength. The world moves quickly, and impatience tempts you to take shortcuts, to quit too soon, or to chase quick rewards. Self-mastery teaches you that meaningful achievement requires time, that results are the product of sustained effort, and that every setback is an opportunity to refine your skills and deepen your resilience. Resilience itself is born from self-mastery. Every failure, every criticism, every obstacle becomes fuel when you have mastered yourself. You do not break under pressure. You bend, adapt, learn, and come back stronger. You do not blame external forces for your circumstances. You take full responsibility for your actions and outcomes. This is what separates those who succeed from those who merely dream. Self-mastery also means mastering your environment. You must recognize the people, situations, and distractions that weaken your focus and drain your energy. Inner strength gives you the courage to distance yourself from negativity, to protect your mental space, and to prioritize what matters most. The world will try to pull you in every direction. Noise, doubt, and temptation are everywhere. Without the inner discipline to resist these forces, you will be consumed. Self-mastery gives you the ability to act intentionally, to channel your energy toward meaningful goals, and to build momentum in silence. Inner strength requires vision and purpose. Mastery over yourself is useless if it is not applied towards something meaningful. Your energy, discipline, and focus must be directed toward a goal that challenges you, pushes you, and demands the best version of yourself. Without a purpose, discipline becomes tedious, patience becomes boring, and strength becomes wasted. When your inner strength is aligned with a powerful vision, it becomes unstoppable. Mastering yourself also requires reflection. You must constantly assess your thoughts, habits, and actions. You must confront your weaknesses, acknowledge your mistakes, and be willing to make the hard adjustments necessary to grow. This is uncomfortable work, but discomfort is the crucible in which inner strength is forged. No one can build it for you. No one can fight your battles, endure your pain, or make the tough choices on your behalf. Inner strength is born from personal responsibility. Every decision you make, every action you take, every failure you endure, every victory you earn contributes to the development of your self-mastery. It is cumulative, deliberate, and relentless. One day, all this effort coalesces into a force that cannot be stopped, a presence that commands respect, a life that attracts opportunity naturally, and a capacity for achievement that is undeniable. Mastering yourself gives you freedom. The freedom to act with confidence, to pursue your goals without fear, to resist external pressures, to endure hardship without complaint, and to rise above the limitations imposed by circumstance or opinion. It gives you clarity, focus, and power to achieve everything you are capable of. The journey of self-mastery is lifelong. It is not completed overnight, and it does not end when a goal is achieved. It is a continuous process of growth, refinement, and relentless improvement. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen yourself. Every obstacle is a training ground. Every setback is a lesson, and every success is a testament to your discipline. When you achieve mastery over yourself, you become unstoppable. Your results, your reputation, your influence, and your life naturally reflect the power, focus, and discipline you have cultivated. You do not need to prove yourself to others. You do not need to shout, explain, or perform for attention. Your life, your actions, and your results speak volumes because they are rooted in inner strength. Self-mastery is the ultimate advantage. It is the weapon that ensures silence becomes power, patience becomes momentum, consistency becomes results, and vision becomes reality. It is the foundation for every success, every achievement, and every legacy worth leaving. If you want to rise, if you want to achieve, if you want everything you desire to come naturally, cultivate your inner strength. Master your mind, your emotions, your habits, your body, and your purpose. Stand firm in discipline, relentless in effort, unshakable in patience, and unstoppable in action. Let the power you build within define your life, shape your destiny, and create results that the world cannot ignore. Inner strength through self-mastery is not just an advantage, it is everything. Everything you've heard today, every principle, every strategy, every word is designed to give you clarity, power, and focus. You have the tools, the mindset, and the path, but now it comes down to one undeniable truth. It all works only when you act. The world will never hand you success. It will never recognize your potential before you prove it. It will never applaud your dreams before you make them real. Recognition is earned, results are earned, and the life you desire is earned through relentless action, discipline, and unwavering focus. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Patience is not waiting, it is preparation. Consistency is not repetition, it is compounding power. Inner strength is not inherited, it's built in the quiet hours when no one is watching, when the excuses are loudest, and when every fiber of your body wants to quit. If you can stand in that space, if you can grind in silence, if you can master yourself, then the world will have no choice but to notice you, respect you, and ultimately reward you. There is power in letting your work speak for you. There is authority in producing results while others are distracted by noise. There is freedom in mastering your mind, your habits, and your focus, because nothing can take away what you have earned in silence. Stop trying to impress. Stop chasing applause. Stop waiting for validation. Those things are fleeting. What is lasting is the force you build inside, the momentum you create through patient, disciplined action, and the results that prove to the world exactly who you are. The moment you embrace this, everything changes. Doors begin to open that once seemed closed. Opportunities arrive that once seemed impossible. People begin to respect you, not because you demanded it, but because your impact is undeniable. Your life begins to reflect the power, clarity, and purpose you have cultivated in silence. The results will come naturally, but only if you have the courage to stay committed, to keep moving forward, to keep grinding when no one is watching, and to refuse to allow doubt, distraction, or fear to steal your focus. This is your life, your journey, and your responsibility. Everything you want, the respect, the influence, the success, the legacy is already within your grasp. But it requires one thing: action through discipline, patience, and self-mastery. Commit to the process. Embrace the silence. Build your momentum. Let the results speak for you. And when the world finally sees what you have built, they will understand, they will respect, and they will witness the unstoppable force that is you. Today is not the end. Today is the beginning. The moment you choose to grind silently, act relentlessly, and master yourself, everything you desire starts moving towards you naturally. The question is simple. Will you step into that power, stay silent, and let your life become the undeniable proof of your greatness? Or will you let noise, doubt, and distraction steal your destiny? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Start moving, start grinding, and watch everything you've ever wanted come to life because you stayed silent, you stayed focused, and you became unstoppable.